Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're skipping all the usual fluff and jumping straight into a step-by-step roadmap for starting an LLC in Washington State.
So let me kick things off by asking you this. How fast do you think you can legally start a business in Washington? Well, you might assume it involves, endless bureaucratic hurdles and months of waiting. But actually, Washington's system is incredibly efficient for entrepreneurs. The barrier to entry is surprisingly low as long as you know exactly which steps to take.
But before we get into the how, we really need to talk about the why. And it comes down to a single number, 0. This right here is the biggest reason entrepreneurs absolutely flock to the Evergreen State. Washington has a 0% personal and corporate income tax. Seriously, 0%. That's a massive financial advantage that lets you keep way more of your hard-earned money, something the IRS historically struggles to understand.
Okay, here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll cover 1. Why a Washington LLC, 2. Preparing to register, 3. Filing your certificate, 4. State business licensing, 5. Maintaining your LLC, and 6. Final setup steps. Let's dive in.
Section 1. Why a Washington LLC? Let's look at the benefits of the Evergreen State.
The Limited Liability Company, or LLC, is the go-to choice for small businesses in Washington for a couple of huge reasons. First up is the legal shield. An LLC literally separates your personal stuff, your home, your car, your personal savings, from your business liabilities. If the business gets sued, your personal assets are generally completely safe. Add to that something called pass-through taxation, which means profits flow straight to your personal tax return, avoiding that nasty double taxation traditional corporations face. Combine that with Washington's 0% state income tax, and wow, you've got an incredibly powerful financial structure. Plus, it just gives you instant professional credibility with vendors and lenders right out of the gate.
All right, moving to Section 2, preparing to register. Let's talk names and agents.
Before you even think about filing a single piece of paperwork, preparation is key. Your very first task, choosing a name. Now, Washington has some pretty strict naming rules under RCW 23.95.305. Your name absolutely must end with a designator, like LLC or Limited Liability Company. You can't just throw in restricted terms like bank or insurance without special licensing, and you definitely can't sound like a government agency. But most importantly, your name has to be completely distinguishable from existing businesses in the state's Corporations and Charities Filing System, or CCFS. And heads up, just adding the word "the" or tweaking some punctuation, that won't cut it. It has to be truly unique in the eyes of the state.
Once you've got your perfect name cleared, you're going to need a registered agent. Let's bust this piece of legal jargon right now. Under Washington law, a registered agent is basically just a state resident or an authorized business that acts as your official point of contact. Now, here's the catch. They must have a physical street address in Washington. P.O. boxes are absolutely not allowed, and they have to be available at that exact address during normal business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., just to accept legal notices. Think about that strict 9 to 5 requirement for a second. That's a pretty heavy burden if you're an entrepreneur out running your business or taking meetings, right?
So here is a fantastic insider tip that really separates the amateurs from the pros. If you work from home, sure, you can legally be your own registered agent, but your home address becomes public record. That means an avalanche of junk mail and some real privacy concerns. To protect their privacy and completely bypass that strict 9 to 5 availability rule, a lot of business owners just hire a commercial registered agent service. This puts the service's address on the public state database instead of your front door. It is a total game changer.
Section 3. Filing your certificate. It's time to make it official.
In Washington, the actual document that breathes life into your business is called the Certificate of Formation. Now, if you've been doing some Googling, you might see this called Articles of Organization in other states. But in Washington, the specific legal term is the Certificate of Formation, and this gets filed directly with the Washington Secretary of State's office.
Now, what's really interesting about this step is that you have a stark choice to make when filing. You can file online through that CCFS portal, which costs a total of $200 and is usually processed in about 5 business days. Or you can file by mail. That costs slightly less, a $180 fee plus postage, but it takes a massive 3 to 4 weeks to process. Honestly, for almost everyone, the speed and convenience of the online filing is more than worth that extra $20 to just get your business up and running immediately.
Moving to Section 4, State Business Licensing and the Department of Revenue.
So, you might think you're totally done once the Secretary of State approves your certificate, but not quite. Washington will immediately assign you a Unified Business Identifier, or UBI.
This is a unique 9-digit number. Think of it as your business's ultimate ID card across all Washington state agencies. It's absolutely crucial. You literally cannot file taxes, hire employees, or update your business licenses without this exact number.
Armed with your new UBI, you need to file a business license application through the state's online system, which is called MyDOR. Generally, you have to do this if your business plans to gross $12,000 or more a year, if you sell products that require sales tax, or if you're going to hire employees. The process itself is super straightforward. You log in, fill out the application, and pay an initial processing fee of $50. Oh, and depending on your specific location and industry, you might also need to add certain city or state endorsements to this license.
Section 5. Maintaining your LLC. Let's talk about staying compliant. Getting set up is really only half the battle. To keep your LLC in good standing, you have to watch out for the absolute #1 pitfall for beginners, the annual report. Every single year, you must file an annual report with the Secretary of State and pay a $70 fee. And the deadline? It's due by the last day of your LLC's anniversary month, meaning the month you originally formed the business. If you forget to do this, the state can and absolutely will dissolve your LLC, totally stripping you of your liability protection. So do yourself a huge favor right now, pull out your phone and set a recurring calendar reminder.
Section 6. Final setup steps. Let's look at costs and best practices.
So the crucial point here is having total clarity on your financial commitment to the state. Up front, you're looking at an initial formation fee of $180 to $200 with the Secretary of State. Then, you've got your initial $50 business license processing fee with the Department of Revenue, and finally, your ongoing $70 yearly fee for that annual report. Having this complete financial picture up front is absolutely vital for your business planning so you don't get hit with any surprise costs down the road.
And while the state of Washington doesn't ask to see these next few items, you absolutely need them anyway. First, draft an operating agreement. Even though Washington doesn't legally force you to file one, this internal document sets the rules for how your LLC is managed, and it is critical for maintaining your limited liability status. Next up, head over to the IRS website and grab a free Employer Identification Number, or EIN. Finally, take your filed certificate, your new operating agreement, and your EIN straight to the bank to open a dedicated business bank account. Mixing personal and business funds is a massive mistake. Always keep them separate.
Now, as thorough as this explainer is, I definitely have to remind you that this content is meant for educational purposes only. It should not be construed as legal or financial advice. Every single business situation is unique, and Washington rules can update. So please consult with a legal professional or a CPA for personalized guidance tailored to your specific circumstances before making any major moves.
Well, you now know the exact steps to officially form your business. But remember, protecting your personal assets is just day one. Are you ready to build a Washington LLC that actually thrives in its very first year? The path is laid out, the tax rate is 0, and the next move is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep building, and I will see you in the next one.